If somebody is taking a stimulant and it is working well for them, by all means, keep doing it. I am all about improving human health, human happiness, human productivity. I am all for it. However, if you understand that this is a metabolic intervention, it gives us additional strategies and options because there are other ways to improve brain metabolism other than stimulant medications. And not everybody does well with stimulants. Some people have bad side effects. Some people can kind of crash and burn toward the end of the day in terms of mood or energy level. For some, that's not a problem, but for others, it's a major problem. And they seriously are crashing every night. For some people, stimulants disrupt their sleep. Even when they only take them in the morning, the kids aren't sleeping well. And now that's wreaking all sorts of havoc. And if you don't sleep well, guess what? That's going to further disrupt your brain metabolism. And
plus a lot of them impact your appetite.
Yes.
And so if you're not actually fueling your body, that also impacts your brain metabolism and the metabolism in your body in real time. Thinking about so many things. Like as a mom, I'm thinking back to the fact that our son, Oakley, was a profoundly picky eater. And if I am being honest with you, Dr. Palmer, I fed that kid chicken nuggets 3 meals a day because it was the only thing that I could get into that kid's mouth. He hated the texture of peanut butter. I tried to sneak crap into the smoothies. And so now I'm sitting here going, oh God, I gave my kid ADHD because I fed him processed crap. And he was not a sports kid and he played a lot of video games and I did this to him. And then I tried to medicate him and they told us you had to have 3 or 4 different types of medication. And I watched him turn into the Hulk when they put him on Vyvanse. And then I watched him drop off the Adderall cliff at the end of the day. And I saw our 12-year-old literally, like I'm going to start crying when I think about this. Like I literally saw like the light going out in him. And thankfully he's like, I'm not taking this. I'm just not taking this because the only thing that was being offered to us is to keep him in school. You have to medicate him to have him sit still. And it was awful. And you're here to say there's something else you can do? What else can you do?
There are so many things we can do. And I mean, hearing your story and your son's story, it's heartbreaking because I know there are hundreds of thousands of other people, if not millions of other people just like that. There are so many parents who are being told, you must medicate your child in order to keep him in school. He is a problem.
I said that to him too. I was like, you have to take this. Like, it's not an option for you.
The heartbreaking thing is that kids internalize the message that they are a problem. They're not getting the message that there is a problem with your brain metabolism, honey. And this is something we can address. It's not your fault.
You're right. When you get handed a diagnosis, you think, oh, this just is how it is. I am just somebody that will have anxiety for the rest of my life. I'm somebody that will struggle with ADHD. Oh, I'm dyslexic. It just is what it is. You're basically here to tell us that it's not is what it is.
It's not a permanent life. It's not a permanent condition. ADHD can be helped. We can help people heal and recover. There are some neurodevelopmental conditions that are permanent and that are likely not, quote unquote, changeable. So people who lack social skills, they don't take a pill and all of a sudden have great social skills. And then when the pill wears off, their social skills go away again. They permanently have a difference in their social skills. That is likely not going to change, even if we change their brain metabolism.
Are you referring to somebody who might be on the autism spectrum?
Yes.
So what will happen though if you improve a person who has been diagnosed on the autism spectrum and has difficulty making social connection or reading social cues, what will happen though if you improve their metabolism?
So people who are on the spectrum almost always have comorbid DSM diagnostic labels. About 50% will have ADHD. Many of them will have seizures. 60% will have depression and anxiety symptoms. Most of them have OCD symptoms because they're embedded into the diagnostic criteria for autism. A study just came out 2 weeks ago. 10% will go on to develop schizophrenia.
Wow.
People with autism have essentially higher rates of all of the mental health conditions. So although we may not be able to change their social skills, if we improve their brain metabolism, we can improve many of those other symptoms. We can reduce their ADHD symptoms. We can improve their capacity to learn. We can improve their mood and energy, reduce their anxiety, make them feel better, think better, be more positive, have more energy. It can make profound differences in their lives if we intervene early enough before social skill development is complete.
And what age is that?
The earlier, the better. So social skills start developing from birth. If we know that there are problems, the sooner we can intervene with brain metabolism strategies, we might be able to reduce symptoms or improve symptoms or modify the course of illness. But after childhood, people have either learned social skills or they haven't, or they've learned different social skills. It's not that it's all or nothing, but there are differences. And those differences are going to be difficult, if not impossible, to change. And we shouldn't expect to change them.
I would imagine if you achieve a reduction of feelings of depression or bouts of anxiety, that though makes somebody feel remarkably better, even if they're not connecting socially with people. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt about it. And let me be clear, there are many people who are autistic who have tremendous strengths and invaluable traits to the human species. Some of our most notable geniuses, billionaire businessmen, and others are supposedly on the spectrum. And we as a society would not be thriving in the ways that we are if we didn't have Albert Einstein, if we didn't have other current ones, I won't name names, but other current ones who have self-disclosed that they have received that label when they were young. Because sometimes it comes with benefits. It doesn't always, though. There are people who are on the spectrum who have to live in group homes, who are unable to care for themselves, who are having seizures, who have profound cognitive impairment, who are injuring themselves repetitively. And I believe that using metabolic treatment strategies, we can help those people. We can help those people live better lives, maybe live more independently, function at a higher level.
I'm intrigued by the fact that you said that ADHD is not a condition that you're stuck with forever, because I have believed that it is. And I have brought that into marriage counseling multiple times. Like, I'm sorry, honey, I'm just going to leave my Kleenexes on the counter, and my vanity in the bathroom is always going to look like somebody shot all of my makeup out of a cannon right on top of the sink. Like, I am forgetful, all of that stuff. I've thought there was no hope, but you're saying there is. So how does improving my brain metabolism help with either inattention or hyperactivity?
It helps with both. So improving brain metabolism is about helping those brain regions that are underactive become more active. And at the same time, if there are brain regions that are overactive, it helps them normalize their activity so that they aren't hyper excitable or overactive. At the end of the day, in a very practical, concrete way
Yeah.
to someone like you, I would
Please.
first ask the question, do you really want to change?
No. No,
And so
well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it would feel like to be me if I didn't like have ADHD as part of my identity. And maybe what I'm realizing as I'm talking to you in this confessional, Dr. Palmer, is that I use it as an excuse to not have to pay attention, to not have to slow down, to be responsible for the fact that I am a little bit chaotic, both internally in my thoughts and externally. And if I'm being honest, I know that if I work out, for example, and it's one of those workouts where somebody's yelling at you and you're really going for it, and you get that kind of chemical rush that Dr. John Rady, probably one of your colleagues, calls miracle grow for the brain, that I have the same experience of being able to hyper focus for about an hour and a half after I exercise as if I had taken Adderall.
Which is perfect. So,
but I don't want to have to exercise like that every morning when it's easier to take an Adderall.
No, well, and again,
I'm just being honest.
So both of those are strategies to address brain metabolism. So you're using effective strategies, a stimulant and exercise. Both of those are directly influencing your brain metabolism. You are noticing some benefit. I want to come back to the bigger question that I asked you. Do you want to change? Because at the end of the day,
I want to stop feeling frustrated. And I think when I was younger, and certainly watching our son struggle, you do feel like there's something wrong with you. I see a direct connection between the undiagnosed ADHD and the inability for me to either pay attention in class or focus when I needed to focus, and the fact that mentally I just felt like there was something wrong with me, and anxiety started to develop, and that became the overriding thing that I felt and that people could see. And so I was medicated for anxiety for 25 years until I got this diagnosis around ADHD. And I'm like, wait a minute, maybe it wasn't anxiety as the core issue after all. Maybe it was this inability to focus. And what you're actually offering is a deeper epiphany that maybe it's not actually ADHD. Maybe it's my brain metabolizes differently than other people. And when I pay attention to that in myself or in our son, because he doesn't take medication, he has not taken medication since he was 13. He changed his diet. He's more active. It's as if his entire brain changed.
That's a perfect example of what I'm here to say.
What is actually happening in the functioning of your brain when you are somebody that has ADHD?